the days of the early suns. Through words of lost belief, laid waste and buried deep. Summer to be set up to fall. But there's no fear that lives inside this soul. Yeah.
Welcome to the Rift. Today, we are diving into Blue Waters Draft League. If you're unfamiliar with the format, it's a best-of-5 fearless where captains fight over picks. We've been going about a season worth so far. I'm your local casting cowboy, Korak, joined, of course, by the fantastic Becky. Let's dive right in, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. So tonight we've got GOATED up against Scooter Shooters down in the lower bracket finals. GOATED and Scooter Shooters have been making Scooter Shooters, unsurprisingly, were kind of expected to go through the lower bracket, but GOATED as a team was certainly not necessarily predicted to make it this far. So I'm interested to see how they will stack up against the Scooter Shooters roster. Whoever wins this series will be going up against the so far extremely dominant Skibidi Skeletons in the grand finals. So it's gonna be a real slobber knocker, a real barn burner, as it were. And right now, we've currently got some jungle, GOATED denying some jungle picks right now. Spartan has been on a tear these past few weeks, and in these playoffs in general, Spartan has done exceptionally well for the side of the Scooter Shooters, so that's not too surprising that we see the Hecarim and the Rek'Sai both targeted here. Scooter Shooters, when they're looking to kind of ban it here, GOATED's roster is certainly one that's a bit more wide in terms of its power. The thing about these draft teams is that their rankings are very much wild in terms of what players are just better than other players. So that kind of changes the math on certain drafts. For GOATED's roster, Calburn is absolutely the best player in terms of raw stats and performance. But players like Greeno can be targeted with certain bans, and Daxley as well is a player that has performed pretty well this season, so I wouldn't be surprised to see some bans going their way. And it looks like we're gonna ban away the Leona here in round 1 and GOATED of B1 Ashe. How exciting. Wow. Incredible. So thrilling.
Well, I can't blame him, right? Ashe is very, very powerful. I think she's a good neutral pick. I prefer to see Red Side pick her up because you can get the Ashe Seraphine, although this does kind of force Red Side into another pick. We're hovering another meta pick, which would make sense here with the Pantheon, but I would love to see like Pantheon Seraphine in order to deny that combination, because that can be really, really oppressive in bot lane. But I've got to imagine when we're looking at this draft league, Becky, that we're looking at more of a solo queue mindset that's been kind of forced into a 5v5 competitive mindset. Because oftentimes with these pre-made teams, with coaches and everything sitting there, I think that, oh, hey, it's a negative quality that a lot of these are solo queue players, or if they're playing like solo queue players and picking like solo queue players, it'll really struggle. But this kind of almost seems like the whole idea. For example, we're going we're already picking up a Tristana when, like I said, I expected to see the Seraphine already going. Tristana's also in a bit of a, I won't say a weird spot, but I haven't seen her an insane amount, except for maybe in solo queue. I'm sure she showed up at an ACL and a couple other spots, but I personally just have missed the games with her in her. So she's a little bit of an unknown quantity for me right now in the meta.
Yeah, and as you predicted, as you would expect, we want to get a good pairing with our Ashe champion. So of course we did not pick one. We picked Gwen and Ashe, both functionally blind. Gwen, although we expect the Pantheon to probably be jungle, so the blind Ashe is just the blind Ahri, excuse me, is certainly a choice. So this opens up the Scooter Shooters to kind of just ban Ashe's good partners. Like, you could just ban away the Seraphine here.
Yeah.
It's not sure. Ace Theory doesn't have a lot like any games in solo queue on Seraphine, but that's like,
it's not like she's hard though.
Seraphine, Seraphine. We're pretending Seraphine's a difficult champion. Let's be real here.
Just discount Sona, so or maybe Sona's discount Seraphine, depending on how you see it.
Don't say it. How dare you? How dare you? So I stand Sona.
I play both. I'm a support player. I'm allowed to say that.
Hashtag stand Sona. Hashtag Seraphine is over party. Yeah, so we're banning away 2 supports. Unsurprisingly,
Mhm.
2 good pairings with the Ashe. Braum being the absolute best champion in the format, at least in draft. Okay, no, Karma's a good pick too, or a good ban away too here. So that leaves the Braum up, but I think that the Scooter Shooters could absolutely just pick that with the Tristana. Uh, it's maybe not like a high value Braum, but it is certainly taking it away as an option from GOATED. Uh, Unless they really want that support counter pick, which is not like a bad idea necessarily. It'll
Mhm.
allow them to absolutely dominate this bot lane. Uh, Meanwhile, GOATED are still banning away top laners. So they've kind of zeroed in on, yeah, that's Pantheon jungle. We're going to just target some stuff that's going to go into the top lane. And unsurprisingly, we are going to lock in the best champion in the format, the draft superstar, Mr. Braum, who is going to be. I like Braum with Tristana, very aggressive in terms of their early potential and just crazy burst from the explosive shot and rocket jump and all the nonsense that Tristana brings to the table. And it really will snowball well with the Pantheon, just getting that crazy lockdown, crazy burst on whoever is down there in the bot lane. Thomas Kenchaman is locked in. He did get some passive changes on this recent patch. So I believe that
I'm
was the
feeling support.
champion that kind of got adjusted a little bit for could be the support. I'd say that's not a bad idea, all things considered. Uh Keeping the Ashe safe. And yeah, it will indeed be the support. And the Wukong will get picked up. So that's going to be a Gwen now in the top lane. Going to have to be a little blind here, though. That gives Scooter Shooters a counter pick. Unless this is Wukong top, but I don't know if we're going to go that ancient. Oh, Garen.
Yeah, we were looking at the Garen, and I think Garen does sort of fit the whether it's an intentional strategy or not intentional strategy we've got here with Scooter Shooters, because for the most part we've got a team that does well with sort of like pointing to that person saying, "Oh, you're going to die now," right? Because we've got Pantheon, we got Tristana, we got Orianna, we got Braum going in there, and then we've got Garen to go in there for a little bit extra front line, a little bit extra damage. So we can very much sort of pick someone off if we can target them. Tom Kench, I think, is going to complicate the matters. Wukong's going to complicate the matters. Gwen's going to complicate the matters. Ari's going to be hard to pin down if they're playing it anywhere nearly correct. But Ashe is relatively vulnerable. But honestly, I'm not looking for the damage on Ashe when I look at this team. She's still going to be consistent. She's still going to have a lot of utility. But I'd be more worried about dealing with the Ari and dealing with the Gwen. And if this is a good Tom Kench in the bot lane, in the support role, it can be quite irritating to deal with, especially for a Tristana, because once we hit that level 6 and we're able to eat our team, Tristana pops in, and then we just eat the Ashe and then just sort of muddle our way out, buying ourselves plenty of time. And there's not an insane amount that Braum can do. I am a little surprised we didn't pick up any enchanters here, because the meta really favors enchanters right now. This is like one of the enchanter metas just kind of in general, but there's nothing wrong with Braum. Braum's still an option. Braum's still a choice. And as you said, it sounds like it's kind of a league specific with how well it does. And I don't really blame him, especially if it's a comfort pick. Braum has been around for quite some time, and he's not a hard pickup, and he can have a pretty big impact overall. Like we can sort of deal with a lot of stuff from Ari. We can deal with that crystalline arrow. That shield will put in a lot of work here for Scooter Shooters, Becky.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The enchanters are certainly something that it really depends on the support. At least in my experience with the draft leagues, a lot of these supports, Ace Theory absolutely is more of that aggressive support. The Leona ban was a target towards Ace Theory specifically. And Slappy as well, kind of just plays, well, not even really support this season, but, has more games on Nautilus than some of those Enchanter picks. So really, it just kind of comes down to the player preferences in a lot of these cases, and I would agree. I would say that I'm very surprised we didn't see GOATED pick up the Seraphine in round 1 of picks, or even Scooter Shooters picking up a maybe like an enchanter to help enable the Garen. If they were planning on Garen, the Braum could be an enchanter to get Garen moving, or to help Pantheon out after he dives in. But enchanters I don't necessarily personally like with Tristana, just because Tristana really wants to go turbo aggro early on. But yeah, I guess kind of, if I were to kind of pick a team here that I personally prefer, I gotta go with the Scooter Shooters, mostly just because I will say the Scooter Shooters team feels like it absolutely craters in the later stages in terms of power. It feels like they don't scale as hard into the late game as the GOATED team does, but I feel like in terms of relative power, both of the teams are fairly even. And I like the Braum champion. Garen can be an absolute menace here. I am certainly worried about what Thomas Kenchaman is going to cause problems for with Tristana and these dives. So, yeah, that's kind of my thought process. So what do you think? Who do you think's taking this one? This first game?
When I'm looking at these right now, I do agree with you. I think when we're looking at Scooter Shooters, their team can have the potential to fall off, but they do have a couple things going for them. Orianna, even though she's not as strong as she used to be, she's kind of gone down just a little bit and sort of been replaced by a couple of people, even with the fact that we have that great ball delivery system, and Pantheon's not the worst ball delivery system, neither is Braum, to get that shockwave in range. She does something similar to Victor does, to where it almost doesn't matter how far you get behind. Both Victor and Orianna give you a lot of good, consistent middle and late game damage, and one of the biggest things they give you is area denial. So if Scooter Shooters is shooting for these Drakes, right, we've got a good tool to do that. Orianna is fantastic. If you have to go into Orianna, especially without vision, it can be really, really sketchy because she really excels in those range. So I think if we use that to get our hands on some Drakes, which Drake, you can sort of take the neutral objectives as a form of scaling, because it does provide you buffs, right? You do get stronger, and if everybody's gold tops out and you have the buff and they don't, then that can be a lot to play with. Tristana's damage should be pretty solid. She can get pretty insane. Pantheon can struggle, although his utility never goes away. Garen struggles a whole bunch. He's fairly weak in the meta, but once again, you know, I think we need to attack all of this with almost a solo queue mindset, because that's essentially what this is. This is a bunch of solo queue players who kind of got together and, you know, sort of gone off with team captains. And then when we've got the scaling, when we're looking at GOATED, we've got Gwen. Gwen hits a certain point in her itemization where she starts to get really, really strong. And she can't sort of like 1v9 like she used to, but she's still very, very powerful. And we've got a lot of utilities that's going to be consistent between Gwen, Ahri, and Tahm Kench, and of course, the Ashe. We've got a lot to play with. And then Wukong does the exact same thing. So the biggest thing I think GOATED has going for them is not necessarily scaling, although I think they have some of that. It's more of their utility and their versatility, where I feel like Scooter Shooters is more pigeonholed into trying to shoot for these neutral objectives. They're kind of on a ticking time clock, and they need to sort of like wait for mistakes for GOATED to make or grab some early objectives. But we won't know until the rubber meets the road. Becky, we're going to go into a small break. The spectator delay is ticking down, so I'm going to guess about 2 to 3 minutes. I'm always wrong on the timer, but I'm going to guess anyways. Give us a few minutes, guys. We'll be right back. Alrighty, everybody. Thank you for bearing with us. We're rolling into game number 1, of course, between Goated and Scooter Shooters. Goated sitting on the blue side, Scooter Shooters sitting in the red, and we're already starting with just a little bit of harassment. Nothing too expected, or nothing too unexpected. We have both Braum and Tom Kench, which are happy to get these early little brawls out the queue, and I believe Braum's tongue attack is the queue as well. Either way,
Yes.
they can both be very, very frustrating to deal with early on.
Yeah, no, Tom does actually quite a bit of early damage, but he's getting certainly aggressed here.
Ooh, yeah. Flash already down there for Ace Theory. That's going to be a little frustrating, but once again, this is Tom Kench. Not only do we have pots, but we do have that super, super annoying lifesteal. I've got to imagine that on paper, Braum is supposed to win this matchup because Braum is sort of in his element right now, right? When the meta isn't favoring like, one particular side or another when it comes to, like bruisers, when it comes to enchanters, Braum wants to fight in melee with these other engagement supports, which is exactly what Tom Kench is. Braum is still, his kit's still very, very powerful, but you cannot underestimate Tom Kench. Tom Kench has a lot of, I'm going to say, surprise ability.
Oh, no.
It was a flash and a tower shot comes in. Garen picks up a kill there as the Gwen gets taken down. Our first point on the board with barely 3 minutes on the clock, Becky.
Yeah, that's about what you kind of expect from the Garen here. Garen absolutely is a fantastic option into the Gwen. We're going to see, oh no, the Hashinshin TP. Oh, geez. Okay, now we're fine. We're fine. Now, the Garen does very well into the Gwen, in my experience at least. Absolutely can just sort of break through the more annoying parts of the Gwen champion. And just do so much damage early on, and especially with the, the top lane changes from earlier in the season, being able to take Ignite on the Garen champion to, while also still getting those TP options, it is fantastic to have that. Because Garen with that Ignite is such a hugely aggressive threat early in the game, and Daxley's going to be a target here.
Yeah, absolutely. We do have the damage here on top of the Garen, but we've also got Pantheon coming over here in the background. Gwen in a bit of trouble. Garen sort of biding this time. Just needs to get 1 or 2 more shots, but even if this kill goes exclusively to Spartan, that's not the worst thing. I mean, with red and blue buff, we should have plenty of tools to go for it. And as soon as Gwen gets down a little bit lower, Garen can make their way in there. That life steal does that life regen does a whole bunch. However, Wukong is here, and if they're not careful, that might be 2 spicy kills to go for. I think if Pantheon pats down there, that's going to be a dead Spartan.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It looks like, yeah, Spartan is going to recall there. Valka gonna be getting out of here. Greeno will get a little bit of a clockwork tune-up there in the mid lane as Happier Cat gets that solo kill. Not too surprising to have that Cat is performing better here. This is a relatively neutral matchup, and Cat is, generally speaking, the better player in this lane. So, good stuff for Cat, getting that just freebie in the mid lane, but also just like a good top lane pressure here, keeping the Gwen down. Daxley is one of GOATED's better win condition players. And better performers. So being able to kind of put this player down early will give an easier path into the later stages of the game for the Scooter Shooters. We've got 20 seconds on the Drake, and for the time being, it looks like Pantheon's in the better spot to start it up. Bot lane is pushed in here for the bot side with Bread Kaczynski pushing in. The Tristana, very good at shoving in. Valka.
Ooh, Ignite coming down. 1 or 2 more ticks should be all it takes to take it out. And there it is. Another one. Garen sitting at 2-0 in the top lane. This Gwen, 0 and 3. That's got to be frustrating. Our score also moved up 0-4 with, half of them being on Garen. That's going to make Garen quite the pain to deal with. But the nice thing is when we've got Scooter Shooters here is we've got a good versatility on the gold. We've got gold on the Gwen. We've got gold on Spartan. So our gold is mobile and it's in multiple locations. So it's going to be even harder to deal with. with, and both top lane and mid lane are now struggling. So at this point, it's really up to the junglers to sort of like tip the scales, or at the very least, GOATED needs to hang on until they can hit some sort of lane phase.
Yeah, it is going to be now an absolute struggle for the Gwen, getting totally taken out of the game this early. Spartan has now just walked in and is going to bully this poor old Gwen champion. This doll is getting torn to shreds up here, to threads even. And that is gonna cause some problems. We see the recall. That's sitting under tower and clicking recall and then instantly canceling it. That's the tilt recall. We all know it. That is not a good sign for our top lane warrior. Meanwhile, though, Calburn is doing all right in terms of just keeping up with farm. Not necessarily keeping up with pressure, though. We'll have the Cyclone pretty soon to start making plays with that. Meanwhile, though, Spartan has the man drop, so... Okay, gonna make some plays.
Absolutely looking for an angle here on Garen, but Garen's on the hunt. I gotta imagine that Gwen would have done a little bit better to run into the bush instead, into the warm embrace for Calburn, but we did not take it. I guess we were worried about that ultimate there from, Karen, but now we're sitting at a 0-4 Gwen. This Gwen basically cannot play the game. This is really, really frustrating. Hopefully Wukong's able to hold the lane just long enough, because Gwen's gonna need all the help they can get, but look at the damage just on Calburn, and we're gonna use that. We're gonna transition that into for bot lane and get our hands on a Drake. So not only do we have 5 kills at about 7 minutes, we've also got our hands on the first little bitty Drake, and that is one that favors Garen. Even with just that small buff, that little bit of movement speed can really impact people like Tristana and Garen when it comes to these little back and forwards.
Yeah, and this is the kind of tempo that the Scooter Shooters team wanted to pick up. Pantheon as a champion absolutely falls off a little. Look, Calburn's looking for something.
Looking to try to take down Happy Cat. Flash is going to come through, as well as the Cyclone, but Flash over the wall. Drop. Grand Starfall coming in. Calburn in trouble. Shockwave going to get activated as Calburn getting close to going down. Happy Cat happy to trade that back and forward. Tom Kench here for the rotate, but here is Happy as well. Popping an ult onto Greeno in trouble. Got to take him down and spend their time to turn around to take down the Tom Kench. That's going to be a double kill. We're sitting at 8-0. That's a kill per minute, all on the side of Scooter Shooters. Blue team is not in a great spot.
Yeah, I see the theory there with Calburn and Greeno. We have the Cyclone up. We're trying to make something happen. You've got Ahri, you've got Cyclone. Theoretically, this Orianna should be able to be taken down. The Flash gets him to safety. I don't believe we had any Spirit Rushes left to actually dip over the wall, but even then it wouldn't have mattered, because as it turns out, the man drop was available, and Pantheon arrives, just gets that lockdown. I think the great part there was just kind of the roam up from Slappy, counter roaming on Ace Theory, who unfortunately, failed the flash over the wall. Very tragic to see that, but yeah, just the 4-man squad, the 3-man squad from the Scooter Shooters, with the Braum having the Glacial Fissure still up, being able to convert that there, as Cat's going to be another target, but is pumping out some DPS.
Yeah, Calburn in. We're taking him down by half HP. The Shockwave could activate. Greeno able to dodge it with their hands on it, but we're not able to hit the Q. That's really frustrating. That could have been a kill on Happy Cat, even if the Greeno had gotten out. Well, we're going to turn that into a double kill. Happy Cat sitting at 4-0, surpassing the Garen, who was in the top lane. We're sitting at 0-10, 13-87, or 13 to 18.7K. Garen going in, not even caring about the tower, saying, no, you're not going to beat me in this race to the end. We've got 2 4-0 champions on the team, but the nice thing, the one silver lining with the fact that there's a bit of chaos here tossed into it, is despite the fact that we have quite an insane lead, it can be thrown. These teams have a lot of chaos, and when you have chaos, crazy things can still happen. So they're not out of the game just quite yet, but either way, it's going to be a steep hill to climb.
Yeah, it is. Some would even say that this is quite an insurmountable hill, but as always with draft, I have seen bigger leads thrown than this in draft, especially as the Grand Scarfall.
Comes in. We do take on the support. Ace just absolutely taken out. Not a whole bunch he can do, even as Tom Kinch. And this is sort of the one thing too. Is Tom Kinch is very much so out of meta, and when you play these out of meta champions, you've got to find some sort of out of meta advantage to turn that into, and we're not really seeing that with Tom Kinch. I don't think this is entirely on him though. The whole team seems to be kind of getting smashed. I think everybody has deaths except for the Ashe, except for Zoro. Ooh, Cyclone coming in. This should be a good 2v3. Finally, a little bit of an angle here to go for as Cat gets shut down by the Gwyn. Gwyn able to get a little bit of gold in their pocket, leaving Valka here to deal with the majority of the damage, but Spartan coming in right at the other time, but now it's going to turn to a 1v3, going to flash forward and try to lock down Wukong. Wukong going to get taken down. The invulnerability isn't going to last so long on the other side. This could turn relatively negative here for the Spartan if he continues up this fight. The damage is too much. I know you're powerful, but that's 3 champions to fight. Gwen picking up 2 shutdowns, and we're getting a little bit of wind in the sail of the others as we pick up an exhaust here on Bread, having to back up here from this fight, but I don't think we have the mana to continue on, and we're seeing just a little bit of gas in the tank for GOATED.
Yeah, GOATED was there on the Grubbins a little early, and for some reason, Scooter Shooters still decided to take this fight. Well, the reason is that they are massive. So they were like, oh, we could probably take this 2v3. But unfortunately, Happier Cat does get locked up and taken out pretty early in that exchange, leaving Valka kind of on their lonesome. And I don't think Valka had ulti either to go for like a quick one-piece onto any of those champions. So it's just sort of leaves Valka on their lonesome, not able to really pump out any damage. With Happier Cat taken out, that's some shielding and speed, that utility from the Orianna taken off the table, and Spartan just being there a little too late. I think Spartan going in at all was absolutely a bit of hubris from the player there. Even no matter how far ahead you are, you probably don't win a 1v3. I think also could have just played that better on the way out. You know, wasn't really throwing out autos on the way out, trying to stack passive. Because if your goal is to, all right, well, I've engaged this, I'm going to try and fight this out, you might as well just fight to the death like a true Spartan would. But unfortunately, just kind of wasn't convinced entirely maybe on, okay, never mind, I can't actually win this 1v3, and then tries to get out, but doesn't necessarily have the tools to do so. Maybe if we were actually throwing out autos to stack that passive up to empower some healing from the Q, or just getting some extra damage reduction, theoretically it could have been better for Spartan, but I feel like it was just kind of doomed from the get-go.
Cowboy finding an opportunity here on Happy Cat as the Cyclone comes in. We're going to return immediately with a bit of a shockwave. Just need one more Q. That's not the worst trade for Happier Cats, but that does give a little bit more gold in the coffers of GOATED. Would have been nice to see Ari get a kill in that one, but it's not the worst thing for Wukong to pick it up, and at the very least, it's something.
It is certainly something. And really, the Scooter Shooters are kind of just... it's going to be on them to kind of give this game away. So for the side of GOATED, they're just going to be chilling. They are going to just kind of wait for things to happen. They are waiting for their opponents to make mistakes, more so than necessarily playing proactively here. It's not on them to get this game moving. Like, they're already in the trenches. They need to slow the game down, and getting these kills, getting these little trades here, even going 1-to-1, just taking an enemy off the board is absolutely a great advantage for them. As Calburn, oh, we got Skydrop.
Grand Starfall underneath the tower as Pantheon goes in, but Spartan's able to get the execute there with the other in, as it looks like Crystalline Arrow coming in at a pretty good time, but I don't think Calburn has the damage to take down this Pantheon. Oh, maybe just 1 or 2 more shots, but that's really, really tempting to go for. We definitely had the combo for it, but the problem is Valkyr is still sitting there, and we're still looking for that damage. Now Valkyr going in. Could be a little bit of a mistake. Those Qs are really, really powerful on top of the other in, and it looks like Zoro in a little bit of trouble. However, we still have the Tom Kinch here to get rid of the passive. The barrier did pop. Oh, no, actually, we don't. Yeah, no, we had barrier. I thought we had heal for some reason. Was that heal? That's really hard to sell.
It is...
It's got to be barrier, right?
On
Okay.
on
Dash.
Zoro? On whom? I can't.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell too. Zoro, I think, has heal. Slappy has heal too. Bread Kaczynski has barrier.
Ooh, Gwen rotating here on Happier Cat, starting to fight. However, it looks like Calburn here for a little bit of defense. Might as well just go for Happier Cat as the Cyclone comes in. Just one or two more autos are going to take down Happier Cat. That should be a good opportunity for it, but this has turned into a 1v1. Ari making their way there, but it looks like Calburn running the wrong direction. Can we get the charm off? Because that'll be a dead Pantheon if we can. We just need a couple more shots to pop off, but I don't think Greeno has the damage. It does look like Spartan, however, those spears are going to be devastating. We're able to dodge. One of them is flash forward into the stun, into the execute, and into the kill, and this is a 9-1 Pantheon.
And this is the Spartan we've been seeing all playoffs. This absolutely early to mid game jungle menace here. Getting huge leads and dominating the game with them. Yeah, the mid-jungle combo of Ari and Wukong, generally speaking, has a lot of power. Oh, we got a fight.
Yeah, Valkyr overstepping their boundaries whatsoever. We should have that itemization on Gwen, so Gwen will become a threat. I think she needs another complete item to truly hit there, and I feel like she should be shooting for Nashor's Tooth, but it looks like we don't have. I'm unfamiliar with the symbol of what we got right there. Tristana going in, trying to lock down this Ashe. The shield coming out on Braum. One or two more shots would all it be take to take that, but looks like Tom Kinch was able to buy us a bit more time. But yeah, I'm surprised we didn't grab Nashor's Tooth earlier on for Gwen, because to my understanding, once she gets that itemization, that it makes a big difference in her trades.
Yeah, so the big change with this, in terms of itemization, champions that go Nashers typically will go Dusk Till Dawn first. Nashers is more niche there, but Dusk Till Dawn, which is what that item is just an absolutely insane AP attack speed item. That has a Sheen proc on it. It does so much damage. It scales really well. It is a fantastic first item.
Things are getting spicy as Ace gets taken down. Greeno wasting the flash there for Bread as Pantheon in a bit of trouble. One Cyclone going to activate. Bredo going to go down. Greeno finally getting a point on the board. Absolute Spaghetti popping off as shutdown after shutdown comes through. The 3v3 has kicked off, and can we find the damage? Garrett Ultimate Valkyr trying to pick it up there with an Ignite, and we are going to take down the Gwen, taking our score 7-21. But if we keep getting these shutdowns, there might be a chance. The biggest problem is we keep losing these towers, and we're about 9k behind in gold, and we've had a hard time fighting for any of these Drakes, and I think we've just sort of given them up every single time they've gone over. But I do think that there's an angle. We've seen a lot of times Scooter Shooters has spent just a bit too much time in these fights, and I think that's a good opportunity for GOATED to go in like we're going here. However, this is going to be Garen, and Garen specifically is going to be hard to take down in these. He's sort of allowed to be a bit greedy with his overstepping.
Yeah, Garen has the ability to get in quickly and also get out quickly, and that's, I mean, we've got the Phantom Dancer for that reason. And the Stride Breaker. This is maximum speed Garen. This is the typical Garen you want to see. Being able to run in, and once he's in the fight, just start spinning and shredding absolutely everyone. So yeah, that's going to be a secured Hextech Drake there. So that is sole point for the side of the Scooter Shooters, who are starting to clean it up a little bit here. There was a little bit of sloppiness as Calburn turns up the heat and starts putting the pressure in on some of those caught out gamers on the side of the Scooter Shooters, but the goal difference is still a factor here, and the goal difference is just a little under 9,000 for the Scooter Shooters, as Daxley is going to get targeted up. Get
Shockwave.
Almost certainly.
Yeah, Shockwave does come in. We're just not allowed to do too much in the top lane. We did get a whole bunch of plates. Pantheon running into a 1v3. I guess we got enough in order to take out Ashe, and Calburn is pretty low, so the biggest HP threat is going to be Tom Kinch. The barrier coming down, but it's just not going to be able to keep ourselves alive, and Pantheon's just sort of allowed to get execute after execute after execute, turning into a triple kill. And that's a bit devastating to see, Becky.
Yeah, that's a devastator right there. Now the gold lead is 10k in favor of the Scooter Shooters. There was that pickup in mid. They were able to take out Brett Kaczynski, but it was a Pyrrhic victory, if a victory at all, since Spartan just walks in slowly and down smashes the entirety of the GOATED roster, taking 3 out on his lonesome. We are still in Pantheon's world, and Pantheon is going to make them regret waking up and logging into the game here. Calburn gonna take that Hex Gate out. The Baron is up and almost certainly going to be the target of the Scooter Shooters. They're gonna be looking almost certainly to move, get that bot lane in movement, get that pushed in, then look to move the Tristana up towards this Baron objective. If they can get any sort of pick, they can absolutely start it. It'll be a little on the slow side. They don't have a ton of percent health damage that typically allows the Baron to get taken out early, as Brett Kaczynski will indeed just be trying to take this out on his lonesome. Might actually kill Greeno, but will die for it.
Honestly, that's not the worst for Brett Kaczynski. Obviously there could have been better options there, and it looks like in the background we also lost Ash as well. So not only is Zoro going down, not only is the Greeno going down, but now we're positioned. You mentioned that we needed the pick, and we definitely got it right now. We've got the pick, we've got a whole bunch of gold, and I don't think that there is much we can do in order to stop this. Wukong is pretty decent at going for the steals. Jarvan, I would say, is a bit better with the flag and drag. So there's a non-zero opportunity if we weren't all the way in bot lane, but maybe the goal is to just sort of acknowledge that, hey, we've lost this objective, let's try to get what we can, let's crack this bot tower, let's get some of these plates ongoing, which isn't the worst thing. And that might be the strategy for GOATED to sort of try to find a way to turn it around, is to go essentially where your enemy is not, because you're just gonna have a hard time fighting them. But that's gonna be a delicate balance, because that puts the tempo entirely on the other side. Ooh, pretty decent charm. Spartan going down by half HP. We're gonna get taken down sooner rather than later. Wukong in the back line. Spartan said about half HP still. The fight, we're doing about a 1v2 as Calburn trying to lock them down. Braum trying to buy time. Brett Kaczynski able to pick up a kill on the other end, and it looks like we lost Ace in the background as well. So at this point, it's just non-stop losses for GOATED.
Yeah, the losses keep coming. They keep spiraling out of control for the GOATED team here. It's really on the Scooter Shooters to find their way to end the game at this point. And it's going to be kind of on GOATED to figure out, well, we gave over the Spartan champion to the guy named Spartan. All right, well, that was maybe a miscalculation on our part. But now we don't have to worry about it because it is Fearless Draft. So it could be thinking, I would say, maybe start thinking about next game. Obviously, no game is over truly until the Nexus explodes. But when you're staring down the barrel of a 12k gold lead, you're kind of not necessarily maybe currently mentally in this one, especially if you are playing on the GOATED team. I think the last hope for them is to maybe take this Drake and deny the soul here. But now this may be a little too copium. I think you give up the Drake and try and stall out for the Elder Flip if this is your game plan. That might be a little.
We do have an opportunity
stupid
to win this fight, though.
Yeah,
we've got a bit of fight before Slappy in trouble. We're really separated here, but we can turn this fight around really quickly. We have to play this very, very close to the chest. Gotta get Orianna coming in, so we now have the full group here on Scooter Shooter, but we're not grouped up whatsoever as the Cyclone comes in, going for the weaker link, taking down the Tristana, taking down the Braum, and now we're poised to either pick up more kills or get our hands on this Drake. Banana Bush is contested. Oftentimes, who's able to control it will win this fight, so right now, it's in both of their hands, but the numbers are on the other side. We've got to keep in mind, though, we've got Pantheon, who is perfectly happy to look for the steal, so it's going to look for the smite. Ace going in two. They're looking for a little bit of shots as Garen absolutely takes down two, tying up the score on the other end. Drake going on the other side. We're at least able to buy ourselves some time, but it's going to cost us our entire team, with only Gwen walking away and a triple kill getting picked up on Happier Cat.
Yeah, that was disastrous. We do the Drake here is absolutely going to be worth nothing, perhaps even less than nothing, because we are cracking this inhib. We're going to be cracking the base here. 5 seconds on Ace Theory will not matter. It is just Thomas Kenjamin, and he will not be able to do a whole lot. We're going to take him out. We're padding the stats a little bit here. I think just leave him be, hit the Nexus, and that is going to be a big, dominant game one over in favor of the Scooter Shooters with a huge lead all game.
Absolutely. Scooter Shooters picking up their first points, their first game in this best of 5 series. But keep in mind, we're looking at a best of 5 overall. And the further and further we get through the fearless drafts and the fearless picks, the less and less champions and the more and more chaos that will be applied to this entire thing. If you're looking at GOATED, though, you know, I know there's a lot of options for this, but what do you think went wrong, right? If you're GOATED and you're sitting there in the lobby, how are you going to turn around into game number 2?
I think you kind of, I don't know. This is one of those things where
You play better.
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways we just gave over way too much too early. You know, you're looking at game. This is a team. The Scooter Shooters are obviously playing for the early to mid game power, and then they're going to try and snowball you with it. So the last thing you want to do is give over 4 kills to Garen before the 5-minute mark. That would be advisable. And we did not live to that, unfortunately. We did give over several kills to the Garen early on, and then gave over a bunch of kills to the Orianna, and then Spartan goes crazy. The big, I'd say, I don't know if I'd call it an upside, but it is certainly a positive, is the fact that the bot lane for GOATED did okay, relatively speaking. They held their own. They didn't get any big leads necessarily, but they also were not a complete liability. And I think that the bot lane for Scooter Shooters was very underwhelming in this first game. They were complete and total non-factors, as you can tell by the fact that they died, and then the team fight was a victory for Scooter Shooters. So they literally could have just DC'd, and I think the Scooter Shooters could have won the game from that point they were at that Drake. So
honestly, like I've got to go back to the fact that we picked Ashe, and you know, nobody countered the Seraphine, at least early on. I just don't understand why we didn't pick up that combination. It is really, really powerful. And there's a reason why it works. It doesn't have to be flashy necessarily to work. It, you know, why things are meta typically boils down to what's consistent and oftentimes what's more efficient in order to play with. And Tom Kinch, I don't think fits that whatsoever. I would put Braum a little bit out of the meta. He's still viable, and he still shows up relatively frequently. And there's a lot of good reasons to pull him out. But, you know, Tom Kinch, not so much, even with the change. Either way, we won't know. I do think that to dig through the mud to find a silver lining in all of this is the fact that we're looking at this best of 5 series, and oftentimes this first game operates as kind of like an opening jab. It takes a little bit of time sometimes to get the juices flowing, to get your brain online, maybe to get some of that caffeine in your veins, to move forward. So there's plenty of options for us to turn around, and you know, you can just take a little bit of time to look for, and I'm not going to set us up on a sweep. This is only one game of many. And I just think maybe just a little synergy for GOATED, learning to play back. Hopefully they're using comms, because even if you commit to one bad idea, sometimes it can be better than multiple other ones. But yeah, that was a steep hill to climb either way. It does sound like, though, we're diving into the next draft immediately, so these players are raring to go. I was expecting us to roll into a break sort of in between these. I thought GOATED was going to take that opportunity, but no, we're happy to dive right in.
We talked for too long. The thing is, we talked for too long. These players are, well, they want to get out of here as much as any of these other draft teams want to get out of here. So we're gonna just jump into game 2, I guess.
No word on yet on what sides we're looking at so far, so we'll see that once we get into the draft proper itself. But at the very least, you know, another thing we can look at here is Spartan no longer has a Spartan to get their hands on. I haven't got a chance to look at the other. It looks like Scooter picking up blue side, so side swap. Okay, yeah. So Scooter sitting on blue, that gives the counter pick to Goated. I do like that. I think oftentimes when you are behind, getting your hands on that counter pick can do a lot of work. But the other thing though too is there are a lot of flex picks and pretty decent picks that you can pick up on blue side. I think Varus is still a powerful tool you can use in bot lane. I still hate him in top lane, except for like maybe very specific scenarios. But Varus is a good tool. Scion's a good tool. We can pick up Ziggs, who is a flex tool. Anivia is even a good flex because Anivia is both a very, very powerful mid lane and a very, very powerful lane, especially if you're playing into someone like Sivir. So there's a lot of options we can start things off with. If you're looking at these early picks for Scooter Shooters, do you have any predictions for the first couple of 3 that might pop out, maybe just from what you've read?
Yeah, well, I think we're gonna wait for the players said they were ready, and then they are not starting the draft, which is just so awesome. So hopefully they actually. Oh wait, never mind. They are indeed starting
There
the
it is.
draft. It just did not show up where I was looking. All right, that's okay. So yeah, no, we are gonna see kind of just. Looks like we have exactly the same bans as game one. We're locking down that Leona, taking that away from Ace Theory, taking Vagar away from Greeno, and taking Ambessa away from Daxley. Just 3 very targeted picks onto these goated players. Meanwhile, goated are targeting, again, largely Spartan and taking away the signature Happier Cat Morgana mid lane. The Gragas, we actually saw go crazy last week. Spartan did exceptionally well on the Gragas champion in last week's series. So I'm glad to see it here again. It is also technically speaking a flex. We could see that go into a lane. I don't know. I don't think Lane Gragas is as good as he's been in the past. The Smuddler will be the pickup for Goated in response here. I guess they're going to maybe just pick out, getting their 80 carry and starting to build around it. Smolder is a good win condition to have because he's one of those champions that is just kind of inevitable. And I think if Goated want to try and win this series, if they want to play their game, they got to slow it down. Scooter shooters love to play early aggro. Love to play very aggressive, very dominating lanes, dominant game states, as we see here with another repeat from last week, the Draven. The Scooter shooters are absolutely feeling themselves tonight in this one. They are going to look to blow people up and end this game too early, at least from their current stages. And Goda's going to have to try and slow them down.
Yeah, and when looking at this, we're sort of all over the board. I prefer to see Gragas in the jungle itself. You can still play Gragas in top lane. I think he's weak in both jungle and in top lane, although he can do well in settings specifically like this and in lower elo, of course. But the biggest thing Gragas has that even the meta can't take away from him is he's got a really, really powerful set of utility. That explosive casket does a lot of work. I've seen it in higher level casts that I've done where we've used Gragas specifically just for that little bit of utility, just for that beef, and it's turned out really, really well. But to combo that with Draven, Draven's going to love their hands on a Gragas because Gragas can pull people into them and separate the rest of the team. Nautilus can lock them down. So we've got a lot of scariness to go for when we're looking at Scooter shooters. But as you mentioned, I don't actually like to call Smolder a win condition because I've seen plenty of times teams at all levels still lose with Smolder. I feel like Smolder is sort of an investment you look forward to that execute those 225 stacks that come through. Can absolutely do an insane amount of damage, but I don't think you can stake your whole plan on it like sort of like a fully fledged hyper carry like Sivir when she has multiple items ready to go and still is very, very powerful. But I do like the combination that we're sort of sitting here. We've got the Smolder. I look forward towards that late game. We've got Maokai, who's really, really powerful. I will say that if this is Maokai support, a lot of supports play Maokai support incorrectly. They sort of play him sort of like a Leona or a Rel, which is sort of a mistake. Maokai is more of a skirmisher. He needs to go out and in, although Twisted Advance is still very powerful. Nature's Grass is still very powerful, so his utility is still very, very, very strong. And then we've got the Lux. So we've got a lot of nice lockdown here, and I like the addition of Graves here with Goated. So we've got opportunities to build up stacks. We've got something to look forward in the long game with Smolder. We've got one of the strongest abilities in the game, which is Twisted Advance. We've got Nature's Grasp. We've got a lot of stun, a lot of lockdown, a lot of knockdown. A bit of smoke to throw in there too with the Graves. So I can see the elements starting to build. And so far right now, the response is going to be Mel on the other end, another really, really powerful tool. So each side, and I'm leaning towards Scooter Shooters a bit more on this one, but each side has stuff to, if you step just a little bit out of range, you can be in quite the scary position, especially with Mel. I think people underestimate how powerful Mel's E is when it comes to that. I believe it's a snare for Mel, because I think you could still move. Yes. I think you could still cast. But the solar snare that comes, it's actually literally called solar snare, so that makes sense. But the solar snare that comes in can absolutely decimate teams if used correctly. And then we're going to roll that into Dr. Mundo. So what I'm hoping is going on here is I'm hoping that this is Dr. Mundo jungle in Gragas top. I don't like blind pick Dr. Mundo because he's very one-dimensional in knowing sort of how to deal with him, because Dr. Mundo needs two things, which is a health bar, and he needs to get his hands on a bit of gold. If he doesn't have those things, he can get shut down really, really quickly. And the answer to that is going to be Fiora, who's pretty weak in the top lane, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, we've seen some ambitious Fiora picks this season, and none of them have really panned out, and this could be another case of that. Obviously, if you're looking in a vacuum, Fiora should be pretty good into Mundo. Theoretically speaking. She doesn't get a lot of value out of her post-A in lane, but in terms of shredding big HP bars, she is good at that. But I think the main thing for the Fiora pick is just to give kind of an alternative win condition of Fiora split push. Because I don't necessarily see outside of wave clear, Scooter Shooters have a really good option to stop a Fiora who is online splitting on a side lane. It's going to come down to, well, you just try and win the 5v4 before Fiora destroys your base. And there is some slow zoning options. They have the Lux, who's really good at playing slow and kind of sieging, playing zone control. They have the Bean Can from Graves. They have Nature's Grasp and all of Maokai's saplings and other tools. GOATED have assembled a very good kind of zone control roster. If they get to a place first, it is going to be pretty difficult for the Scooter Shooters to actually get in on them. Because a lot of their engage is loaded into Nautilus exactly. Gragas obviously has his body slam and Mundo walks at you aggressively, but the rest of the engage is going to have to go through Lux Snare and Slow and Maokai and the Bean Cans and all this other nonsense. The Scooter Shooters are going to have to play their angles very smart in around these big neutral objectives, but they absolutely have the power to punch a hole through this GOATED team before they even get to those late stages.
And I do think you brought up a lot of points. It's sort of getting to GOATED, but GOATED also has to play around that. I think GOATED has a good opportunity to sort of fight for these neutral objectives, especially with the fact that we have both Lux and we have Maokai. People really underestimate how powerful just the free vision is on the saplings, plus that little bitty slow. If Maokai gets to these objectives beforehand, it really adds a lot to you. It shows you exactly who's where. The vision can just make a massive difference, especially with the way that Maokai can deploy it. So hopefully we're using that tool. Hopefully we're playing into that, and hopefully we're skirmishing in and out with Maokai, going in, blowing our kit, rotating back out, going back in, over and over and over, and just playing that game. And honestly, I think one of the more powerful and more sure ways to use Lux's snare is defensively. Right, especially when you look at the team. Other than hitting like Dr. Mundo, right, of course, a lot of this team wants to walk forward. Draven walks forward into that snare, he's going to take a lot of damage. Draven doesn't want to take these saplings. Draven doesn't want to get hit by these Qs. Draven is a pretty vulnerable ADC when it comes to look at this, but the biggest thing I'm worried about when we're looking at GOATED, because I can see the theories where everything else works, is specifically the Fiora. In my opinion, Fiora is extremely, extremely weak. Sure, we can look for that push. Sure, we're going for Dr. Mundo, and maybe it's more solicited towards going after that. But if you're worried about a Dr. Mundo top, why don't you play Cho'Gath, right? Cho'Gath is, I'm not going to call him meta, but he is still a tool available because of a couple other people, right? That is something that you can play with. You could even try Darius, who I think is just a bit weaker right now too, into Dr. Mundo. There's other people that you can play around with it. I just don't see Fiora doing it, but I'm happy to be proven wrong when we're looking at this. But either way, give us a couple of minutes, everyone. We're waiting for the spectator delay to roll down, so we're going to roll into a quick break on our end and then pick up as soon as the game kicks off. So don't go anywhere. Make sure to grab some drinks and refreshments, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes. Alrighty, everybody, here we go, rolling into game number 2 between Scooter Shooters and, of course, GOATED. Scooter Shooters taking the blue side and up 1 point. GOATED sitting in the red, and unfortunately, Fiora already pretty close down to about half HP.
Yeah, great counter pick. Great counter pick choice. Great work. Great work, team. We did it. We counter picked Mundo as expected. So, taking a look at kind of just some general start here.
Nice hook.
A little bit of early aggro from the Draven.
Good damage.
This is looking. Yeah, just Draven things. I mean, Smuddler is already a champion that is functionally not real in lane, and Draven will absolutely just bully them. Given the chance, any hooks land, Draven is going to go absolutely sicko crazy. As Greeno, okay, getting a good trade as Spartan looking for an early gank.
We've already got Gragas out and ready to go, and Fiora really doesn't need that. And honestly, if I'm going to gank someone, why not the Fiora? May as well add insult to injury, which is what we're doing. Going to do a little bit of 1v1 fight as we're going mano-a-mano in the top lane in between the Gragas and the Fiora. Fiora, for their effort, is actually not doing too bad, and they do send Gragas packing. So, you know, maybe there's something to this. And something I was going to say when we're looking at the bot lane is, for the most part, if Smolder doesn't die and Maokai doesn't die in the bot lane, they win that lane. And even if they don't die an insane amount, right? Because Smolder is an investment towards the mid to late game. Something to look forward to. And if Smolder continues to build stacks, they get stronger and stronger and harder to deal with. The thing I would like to see is that Zoro plays just a little bit back, Smolder plays just a little bit back, and that Ace gets opportunities to go for those ganks, because the ganks are very, very powerful on Maokai. Looking for our first little fight over here on Scuttlecraft. Flash forward into the hook, locking down Greeno. Greeno a little bit of trouble. 1 or 2 more shots. First blood coming in for the Mel. We're going to try to go for a little bit of reinforcements. We're going to pick up a double kill on the Mel. It looks like we're doing the exact same thing we were doing before. We're diving just a little bit too deep, and GOATED has already started taking some losses.
Yes, we did it. We learned nothing. Yeah.
Fiora's doing better.
Okay, counter pick. Good counter pick. Good counter pick.
We got the flag. We got a kill top. Do we get out? Okay.
Excellent. Yes. All right.
So
that's why
the
we
good
picked the Fiora
news.
champion.
I mean, the good news is if Fiora does well into Dr. Mundo, Dr. Mundo's gonna be pretty useless. Because like I said, he needs an HP bar and he needs a gold advantage. If we don't have those things, it's very, very hard to deal with. And keep in mind, that was also Gragas made after Gragas made their way top. Nice hook, locking down Ace Theory. 1 or 2 more shots here from Bread. Bread able to pick up another kill on their end. So while Fiora was able to pick up 1 for their team, that does move our score 3-1 in Scooter Shooter's favor.
Yeah, and that is gonna feel very good for the Scooter Shooters here. Calburn looking for something, though.
I don't think we have it on Graves. Yeah, we've just got a bit of distance in order to space out here, in order to play with, considering we've got our hands on Draven and we've got our hands on Nautilus out and ready to go. I think that's going to be a tall order unless we're very, very overextended. Plus, we had to waltz through a ward inside of the Tribush, but yeah, I don't know. This is not looking as bad as it was before, because I think about like 5-6 minutes we had already 4 or 5 kills or maybe even more on that. And Dr. Mundo is finally looking in not the best spot for it, about 28k, so about 28 on the CS chart, but he's having a hard time walking forward in general. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's something to the Fiora in this instance.
Yeah, I think it's just going to come down for the Fiora here. The Grand Challenge now being available means that Daxley can just try and turn this here. Of course, Valka does have a pretty sizable HP lead and will try and make the most of that, but yeah, now Daxley is going to have to play a little bit further back. This Mundo just has too much HP, and we're going to need Calburn to kind of bail us out of this one, or just accept our fate and recall here, which is not necessarily going to feel great. If we can force the ulti out of Valka, that would be a fantastic thing for Calburn to do. But I think instead Daxley's just gonna perish. Just jump in and die.
It's an
Speaking
option.
of, we do have a good route into a full combo. So Happier Cat does claim death here in the mid lane as Greeno picks up one for themselves. But on the bot side, we do get a trade back as the Scooter Shooters will pick up their first Drake of the game, and the first Drake of the game, which is the Infernal. Always a nice 1-point wonder Drake to have in pocket. It's a little bit of extra numbers, never hurt nobody.
And I am liking the coordination a bit better when we're looking at GOATED. Sure, things could be better overall, but we seem to stand a bit more of a chance this time around. I like the fact that Ace Theory is looking for those rotations. Like I said, Twisted Advance is very, very powerful. Plus, once we get our hands on the Twisted Advance Q flash combo, that can make things really, really spicy, especially into someone like Mel, who's absolutely chunking Greeno, taking them down about half HP. But our kit's mostly that, and we're going under tower and taking 2 tower. Oh, okay. We're looking for the ultimate and the execute. I see. All right, that makes a lot more sense. I was not aware that it was up at that time. For some reason, I think we were lower level, but that's gonna be a nice little solid kill. It's not too surprising. There's a reason why we don't see a lot of Lux in mid lane. She's just not insanely powerful right now, and she does very much so get overshadowed by people like Mel. Mel is just a very solid champion, and in a lot of different ways is a better Lux. You know, you could argue that maybe they're not the best sieger, but you know, where they lack in a bit in the sieging department, they make up for in everything else.
Yeah, and that is that's kind of the advantage of having the Mel champion, and also Mel has some really good buttons. That's one of the things that makes Mel a good champion. Obviously, they adjusted some of the stuff with her reflector, but she just has good buttons. And in League of Legends, especially in draft leagues like this or in lower leagues, sometimes good buttons are all you need to win. It's good button theory. If you just have better buttons than your opponent, you can win. That's also why champions like, you know, Braum or Maokai tend to find themselves in good spots, because they just have good buttons to hit. And unfortunately for Lux in mid lane, like, as you said, she just does not have as much going for her. Like, obviously she can work, but it's really just often a player preference thing. And you really have to know what you're doing with Lux to make her work in mid lane. I can think of one person I've seen in draft who I actually trust to do well on mid lane Lux, and he's not in this game, so we do have a lockdown here. Calburn's arrived.
Yeah, this is going to turn quickly in the other side as the Exotic comes down. Calvin able to pick the kill. Nice to get that to Smolder, but still, one kill in the book is better than none whatsoever. Slapping a danger, however, returning the damage there on the other end. Draven happy to pick up 2 kills on his end, looking for the third one. Triple kill, looking for the quadra, but just not able to stick the landing on the Greeno. Now Happier Cat and Slappy looking for an angle. We can potentially dive this if Nautilus can push the wave and get into it. I'm not sure why he's not hitting. I'd be screaming at this Nautilus to push the wave, because this would already be a dead Lux either way. Draven is happier than a pig in mud right now, sitting at 4-1, and Fed Draven at the end of the day is still a Fed Draven.
Yeah, and this being a Fed Draven is going to be absolutely very good for the side of the Scooter Shooters. We saw that power last week in a very similar composition as Valka gets one onto Daxley, who gets
Ace in
knocked
trouble.
back, and we got a fight.
We do manage to dodge the solar snare. Ace still having to worry about that as Bread goes forward. That would have been a great time for Calvert to turn things around, but he went for the farm instead of the fight. I would have loved to see him get that shutdown, but at this point, Draven is absolutely frightening to deal with, and there's not a bunch Smolder can do, especially even if we have Maokai at this point. Maybe pinning him under tower and spacing things out. That's really about all we've got going for us. Draven looking for this solo tower dive. The flash coming through, but it's not going to be great. Mother coming down on the other end. We're able to pick up one more kill, but we're going to give a bit of gold over to Smolder, and honestly, I think we take those. That's free back, right?
Yeah, I think we take those. It is, you know, it's a little bit of It's what we call a quick recall. Sure, you may have to look at a gray screen for a little bit, but it's fine. It's a-okay. Draven coming back in the lane here has all this big power here with the with a Bloodthirster and now just a bunch of extra AD. Smuggler still not even on the first item completion. A 007 Slappy here has that locket. We're gonna try and save Happy or Cat with it. Nope.
Cat is Houston Oilers stair coming down, so that's one tool out of your shed. Looking for the gank here on Ace. Press coming in, trying to follow Twisted Dance on the other side. There's gonna be a little bit for Lux, at least with some damage on your Cat. Cat just needs 1 or 2 more shots. Not sure why Ace is not going for it. You're not getting out of this fight. You may as well try and go for a kill. Malachi hurts a lot more. Thing that could have been at least 1 kill on your way out. That's really, really unfortunate. Wasted about 4 AA opportunities in 1 Q. That would have been more than enough to take down Happy. But, you know, I can't say we're really shooting for. What they look good in trouble. Coordination just seems to be much, much better on scooter shooters.
Yeah, the scooter shooters, I feel like I sound like a robot right now looking at my, look at my
You were
ping.
earlier, you're fine now, at least.
Okay, because I was hearing, well, it doesn't matter. In any case, yeah, scooter shooters getting a huge win around that, around the pit, getting that Drake as well, and good counter pick. Valka picked up another great kill. Kinski is gonna dive here. No.
Is less than 8 pieces directly in ultimate, but just doesn't matter. Overall, a little bit more. We can pick it up for the Grino here into almost a fully Draven. Not right to spend their time taking down that already thread, and then would have been a good part to go for a pick shutdown time. So what I want to focus on, there is a night and day difference between Alpha and Spartan. Alpha right now is playing. I would expect to see so few travelers play, right? They're focusing on the farm, they're going to the space, and all of this camper in sort of setting. When you're up 95 competitive things, not the way to spark, despite that, you know, like we're tied and whatnot, has been there helping out his team, providing that he's helping in those fights back and forward. So it's just, that's one of the big things. Too much, unfortunately. Go down here. We are final Dr. Winter got plenty to tank it here in with going in. Not sure if I lost my co-host or not, or if the bug hit us really, really hard. Hopefully we're not all robot-y. I'm really, really hoping that that's not possible right here. We're already picking a couple of towers here. Pick them up coming down on the other end. Happier to get taken. So there is at least something looking for. We're looking at 18-9. So GOATED's doing just a bit better, I believe. It's pure robot shoots here. I'm going to pop in and out. Take a reset on and maybe the issues.
Okay. I am waiting my voice on the stream. Nope, still a robot.
He's also back, and
Awesome.
hopefully the internet's just being back here, Becky. Yay, we're probably like it. Becky, right now we're at 18-9, 15 minutes on the clock, rolling at 16, 33K to 26K. So not the insanely dominant lead we had before, but definitely a lead so far. Zoro, I don't know why we're there. Why are we walking into Happy Cat? How do you think that's gonna work out for you, bud? There's just no way. You're Smolder. Okay, we're gonna lose Zoro in the bot lane. A little devastating. I don't know why you would go towards someone when you're that far behind on a Smolder.
We are no longer robots. This is great news. Okay. All right. So I, first of all, that's draft, baby. That's exactly what Smolder is gonna do. Is she's gonna walk in and die horribly. That's draft for you. But you know, now that we've cleaned that up, apologies for the audio issues. We may not. Okay, maybe we are still robots. Yeah, it's
Remember,
I don't know.
They're
I might
slightly
be a
behind
Discord.
too. You don't sound like a robot to me, at least. But
Okay.
we're looking for another kill here as Draven does pop their ultimate. There's a flash forward by Happy Your Cat. However, able to pick up one on Calburn, so a 1-for-2 trade. Still looking for some sort of gains to happen. But you know, I was going to go back to the Smolder comment. That is what Smolder does in draft, but it's not as bad as what I've seen some Ziggs do, where we satchel charge ourselves into the enemy instead of escaping. So it could be worse. Ooh, Nature's
Could be
Grass
worse
coming
for
down.
sure. Okay.
Looking for that Q, but it's mostly on top of the other end. We do get the support. It's a little bit of a support for trade, but Brett is still here and absolutely chunking everyone that's still around. Calburn can take them out, but I'd be very, very worried. We're sitting at 8-2 on Draven. Draven's got a healthy amount of gold plus double buff.
Yeah. Now this Draven is now reaching critical mass already. Here we are at just about 18 minutes. Draven's on 2 2/3 of items. This Infinity Edge is almost certainly, I imagine that might be what's coming next. Meanwhile, our Smudler is on Essence Reaver and Dreams. I have no idea how close we are to that 225 breakpoint. If I had to guess, it's probably still pretty far away because Zoro cannot hit anyone for anything in this game. Unlike last game where it took about just over 20 minutes to hit a 10k gold lead, this game, the Scooter Shooters are going for the speed run as they have now a 10k gold lead here at about 1820 on the scoreboard. And no matter what Daxley does, I think they're going to stay that gold. They're going to keep that gold lead as Greeno perishes again.
And this is sort of what I was talking about. I appreciate that Calburn's trying to help out the top lane, but we're losing a T2 for it. We're grabbing Shelly, who is nowhere near as powerful as it used to be. Most teams at this point in the meta use Shelly more as a PvP tool than a PvE tool. It can still apply pressure right before a Drake, but like, we're losing our entire base for it. We're not helping anyone. We're not getting a powerful objective. We're just allowing Dr. Mundo to push. For me, all of the signs that I'm seeing right here just scream solo queue jungler player, which, I mean, essentially is what's going on here. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons they're struggling. Like, sure, you can sit there and blame your team, but like, you know, you all failed together. You all need to be working together, but there's just a lot of things I've seen that are very, very solo queue, and I think we're getting punished for it. Twisted Advance onto the other end. They're going to get called down. There's going to be 2 ultimates. Going to get a shutdown on Draven, so at least there's some sort of angle we're looking for. Slappy taking a bit of damage as the casket comes in, trying to keep the support alive. However, Happy looking for that Solar Slayer, going to absolutely whip it. Unfortunately, sitting pretty low on the mana. This is a good opportunity for GOATED to go in. Slappy just barely getting close to going down, but it's just not going to be enough. Double kill sitting on the Mel as Dr. Mundo is just allowed to do as he pleases in the top lane. Daxley taking a bit of damage, but we do finally have Greeno here, but I still like the chances of Dr. Mundo sitting in this. We're 5-2. We have everything Dr. Mundo wants, and you know, we've got the ultimate out and ready to go whenever we need it.
Yeah, we've got that ultimate. We've got everything we need right now. And again, 2 members down on the side of the GOATED roster. And Daxley is 1-6 on Fiora. This Fiora is a non-factor. It is not looking fantastic for the side of the GOATED roster here. Just now reaching a 12k gold deficit. And it's a bit of a disaster. Looking, I guess, for bright spots here.
Walking into death. There's not much he can do. That jungle doesn't really belong to him.
Yeah, GOATED is kind of checked out this game, and I feel like there's just nothing left. There's no coordination, no communication, no kind of... The sauce is not here. Like, the game plan that they had is just not going to come to fruition. They were not able to slow the game down sufficiently enough to try and get to those later stages where they have a strong Fiora, they have a strong Smolder, they have the utility from the Lux and the Maokai. They can't even get out onto the map to look at gold, let alone take it. And it is just now just gonna spiral out of control from here. It would take a catastrophic throw from the Scooter Shooters to give this game back to the GOATED. And I don't know if they got it in. They might, but
yeah, might be doing it right here. Happy Cat getting aggressed upon as it looks like Nature's Crest coming out. We're going to flash over the wall on the other end, leaving Slappy entirely by themselves. There's going to be a shutdown on the other end, so that's 2 kills for GOATED. So maybe we overstayed our welcome. However, we still have a lot of gold to play with in these fights. So even though this is a 3v5, GOATED still has to play this low and slow. And the nice thing is the further and further we roll into the clock, you know, that gray screen is going to scale, but not if we continue to step up like this. We just saw 3 of them there. I'm not sure what the thought process is. Greeno trying to provide just a little bit of support going in, not looking for too many of the stuns just quite yet. We do try to lock down the Draven. Red is happy to exchange that back and forth, picking up 2 kills on his end. Now looking for a 3rd one on Fiora. The Ignite coming down, picking up a triple kill. So that is going to be a very, very happy Red rising in the background, and 4 kills on the other end. And now we're knocking at the door. The T3 going down, soon to follow by the inhib, and I think we might already be over with game number 2, Becky.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything Zoro can do here. I don't think Zoro even has that Elder execute. Even in a theoretical world, Mom's not picking up the phone right now. She's not answering any calls. She's busy elsewhere. She doesn't want to talk to her son after this disgusting kind of game. And that is a 23-minute victory. Another sub 30-minute slammer coming in from Scooter Shooters, who are looking to close this game out and make their way to the grand finals.
Absolutely. That brings us to 2-0 in the favor of Scooter Shooters, an absolute dominant performance on their end. With that being said, we're going to roll into a quick little break. Maybe I can get ahead of this time, but don't go anywhere because we at least have one more game, and there's a non-zero chance that we see reverse sweep. See ya. Alrighty, everybody. Thank you for joining us and welcome back to game number 3, draft number 3. At this point, GOATED's back is against the wall. A 2-0, a devastating 2-0 lead for Scooter Shooters, looking in top form. You know, and I think a lot of it has to do with just kind of the picks. I mean, sure, for a lot of people, this is for fun, but if you're playing a competitive game for fun and you don't add a little bit of meta spice in there, you are going to suffer for it. And I think we're seeing just that, Becky.
Yeah, no, it is absolutely kind of a matter of we're at a point where we're just picking our favorite champions and hoping for the best, and I feel like that's not a good game plan. That's not a winning strategy. And even if you are here to have fun, probably have more fun if you actually like won the game, I would imagine, rather
Or
than
put up a fighting
getting
chance, right?
yeah, even just like a close game, you know, getting turned into Inside Out Boy, flying over the bar of the swing set, getting pushed over the bar of that, getting flipped inside out, in just about 20 minutes. I feel like, you know, if I'm on the GOATED team, I'm feeling like, man, this is how I spend my Saturday evening. I
think the thought process,
I could be like knitting.
Or crocheting, you know, there's a lot of different options. You can learn woodworking. There's all kinds of stuff. But I'm kind of thinking, GOATED's looking at, you know, going with the philosophy, you know, like, we're not here for a good time, we're here for a quick time, and I think we're definitely getting that. You know, 2 20-minute games back to back immediately into the draft. I would like to see them fight on a higher level and at least sort of stand a chance in a couple of these fights, because I don't have a problem with weird, right? I was talking with Becky here in the background that I've done leagues where we've had literally silvers and the top 5 players on the NA server on the same team. It was sort of like this point buy system, and there was a lot of good chaos in there, and things, even if they didn't work, it was always chaotic. It was always fun. It was always hype, you know, to play around with, and I'm hoping to see more of those elements. Bans coming through, no real changes. I don't expect those to change too much, especially at this point. Those seem very, very targeted. And we're going to pick up our first pick here. It looks like it's going to be Nasus, so we're going to get Susan. Someone who's not super crazy meta. Susan can be really strong, but the biggest thing is people always want to fight on Nasus. Not that Nasus can't fight, but he does best, in my opinion, if you get a lot of this, you know, pushing him out there. That Q is really nice. Building your Q stacks off of killing people is also super great, but he's kind of locked in top lane unless you really, really need him here with a TP. The response on GOATED, who, by the way, is sitting on red side, are going to be Jen and Shen. Jen is pretty nice, although I feel like playing Jen into, blue side here is a little bit risky because we know they favor these aggressive ADCs, and Jen can sort of struggle with that. And then we're getting an even weirder one. We're picking up the Fiddlesticks. Fiddlesticks is still a flex pick. Nowhere near as bad as like old school. Like if you played League of Legends for a while and you remember Crow Fiddlesticks, in the support role, and there was just nothing you could do. He hit you with a crow every couple of seconds. It was absolutely frustrating. I suspect this is going to be Jungle Fiddlesticks, but I could be wrong. Honestly, I wouldn't be too opposed to that one. But we're gonna go from Nasus to Fiddlesticks.
We finally picked up the Seraphine. We finally picked up the Seraphine. It took us a couple games. We finally picked up the Seraphine. We did it after one. Congratulations.
Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, we got there.
We eventually. But yeah, no, as you were saying, Fiddle is certainly can lane, but almost certainly as somebody, I love Fiddle. I was the person throwing crows at you. I'm sorry. That was me, down in support Fiddle, throwing crows, off cooldown. That was me. But I love Fiddle. I love new Fiddle. I loved old Fiddle. I'm a big Fiddle fan. And I have
you fiddled a time or two.
He's not impossible to make work in support, but he absolutely is not good at all. So, and theoretically he can lane. There's been some times where he's been a good laner in like top lane, but almost certainly we're not going to see it actually happen, as it looks like we are just going to pick up the we banned Teemo, I think, just because we're having fun. We're taunting our opponents a little bit here. GOATED taking away 2 mid laners from Happier Cat. What we don't know is that this is actually going to be the fiddle mid lane, at the middle sticks, as it were. And
This could also be,
Malphite,
you know,
GOATED
Mig
picking...
Seraphine.
Yeah, could be. GOATED picking a very normal composition. This is like the most normal core composition. The Malphite and Shen, either one of them could go jungle, so it's just a matter of what we want to do with those champs.
I'd rather see the Malphite in the jungle, especially because from a no vision perspective, just Malphite launching into the jungle, I think the only thing scarier than probably Malphite launching into the jungle at you with ultimate is probably, you know, an angry barbarian running at you with 2 axes. For me, that pulls up a sheer level of dread, just seeing either one of those. Next couple of picks are going to roll through, and we're looking super weird at this. So for scooter shooters, we have Nasus, Fiddlesticks, MF, Mordekaiser, and Warwick. So maybe we are getting support Fiddlesticks, which I don't entirely hate. I'm not saying it's meta, but I can still see angles where Fiddlesticks work. Maybe mid Fiddlesticks, but my problem with Fiddlesticks is, you know, element of surprises, you know, his entire wheelhouse. It doesn't look like we're going to get a Seraphine and a Rakan, so in the bot lane. But you know, honestly, I'm not really enjoying this combination, but it's definitely chaotic for sure.
Yeah, we may be a little crispy yet. It's looking like, based on my pings, we're looking a little crispy right now. Blue Water League, don't look, please don't look. Oh, please don't look at this game. Don't look at these drafts. Happier Cat is here in chat. The scooter shooters have picked 5 champions that are very funny, and the GOATED team have decided where they're trying to win the game. I feel like at least scooter shooters have champions that theoretically go to their roles. This is not nearly as egregious as when Skibidi Skeletons role swapped in game 3, and then sent Darius bot lane with Tarek and sent Master Yi in top lane. So it's a little less egregious, but considering it is Cat, I would suspect that the scooter shooters are gonna try and make us regret being here. So, you know, I hope they do it.
And I was gonna bring up the fact that it's like, you know, I'm on the fence about like Shin top. I think that there's better options, and that you pick Shin essentially for the utility and for you know, a bit of like decent not losing lane. Not that Shin can't do good, but I feel like there's better options to go for. And then we got the lock-in of Mordekaiser and Warwick here for blue side. So, you know, I'm no longer upset about the Shin. There's too many other places for my brain to go. I have no clue where this Warwick's going. You know, my best bet is that we've got Mordekaiser in the jungle, Nasus in the top. Man, maybe Fiddlesticks.
This is Misfortune.
This is MF mid. Okay, cool. So everything I know is a lie.
I figured it out. I figured it out. This is Misfortune. That's a Happier Cat. That's Happier Cat shenanigans. It's Misfortune mid lane. I know that this is where we're going. Still wrong. We're just gonna have to go to break. We're gonna have to see it when we get back into the game.
I just don't even know.
We are disrespecting our opponent. I love League of Legends.
If this is mid Misfortune, I think that's probably the thing I'm the most upset about. I hate ADCs in the mid lane. I just absolutely, you know, except for like maybe Tristana and Corki. Those are the only ones that I've ever been happy with the fact that we've had Misfortune in there. But there's plenty of different options. You know, at one point, Misfortune was a really solid support because of the AP builds you could go. There was a lot that you could play off of that with that one. But I don't know, man. I do agree. I think we should just roll into a quick break. We'll be right back because we have no guesses on where any of this is going. I'm trying to make madness out of chaos, but make sure to watch the timer. We should be back here in a little bit.
強く強く輝いて消えた流れ星ほら命が燃える何かに怯え走り続けたその虚しさのしじまに何を見て何を探してきた自分の声がただ響く幾千万の星の中で惹かれて出会った守り手たちよ回る回る時の輪の中で自分の弱さ強さの先に同じ空誰かが見上げてそう信じて消されない虹の奇跡が届けと冷たい指で涙拭ったあの日にはもう帰れない水平線目指して飛び立つ
Alrighty, we had a little bit of a tech issue, but we're moving into game number 3, and I'm taking some of this in my brain. It looks like it is going to be a support misfortune and a Nasus in the bot lane. That's not the worst. Support misfortune was a thing for a while, so that's not the weirdest thing. Nasus is going to be happy to build things up, and I think if you're going to do it into Jhin, could be pretty solid. The biggest thing to watch out for, though, is when we're looking at this, if you want to see how this lane's going to go, is pay attention to the Qs on Rakan. That's going to be the biggest thing. And it actually looks like Ace Theory went into top lane. Okay, so we swapped tops entirely. Top and the support switch. So we're getting a lot of weird shenanigans. Warwick for the jungle, Mordekaiser for the top lane, and you were correct, it's Middlesticks.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is all very heinous. So very
Spartan.
good work, Scooter Shooters. Spartan's looking for something.
What was having to happen? I mean, I guess we flash out. We could have queued. There's plenty of other ways we could have got out of that without flash, I feel. But, you know, at least we didn't get ganked. Also, if this works for Scooter Shooters, I'm going to be thoroughly upset. But if there was ever an opportunity for GOAT to get a game off of anyone, I think it's going to be right now.
Yeah, we'll see if they can make it happen, but we got to dive here.
For the dive, exhaust coming down. There's going to be the stun, so we're going to lock them underneath the tower. First blood going to Warwick, one shot, two, but it looks like it's just not going to be enough. Calburn going for... I won't even say the juicier targets. I feel like maybe going for Warwick might have been easier, but maybe we were worried about the speed. Calburn seems a little bit lost here, and this is not looking super great. The flash coming in, Calburn having to 1v3. Things are looking really, really weird as this continues to go on. And the fact that both Nasus and Warwick are already sitting at a kill is a little devastating. But maybe we're staying a little bit too long. It looks like Spartan's trying to make something happen over here on Calburn. Calburn getting really close to going down. One or two more shots. We are indeed going to take him down, but this does set things up for Jhin to get their hands on some kills. We should have a coin, and once we get the coin off, this should be a decent amount of damage. Looking for the shot here on the MF, but unfortunately, we're going to whiff it.
Yeah, so as expected, you know, the dive there, I will say, was very well executed. Like, there is no dimension where Scooter Shooters should have been able to get out of that dive without losing somebody to the tower. So really good juggling of aggro there, and I think just kind of Calburn had some iffy target selection when he was trying to figure out, okay, who do I try and fight here to try and pick one back up? They end up getting Spartan on the re-engage, but it's kind of just like a penalty. I guess just an additional bonus prize, for a pity prize, I suppose, for their efforts, as Yeah, this Nasus is 2-0 in bot lane. An 80 carry Nasus is 2-0, everyone. 80 carry Nasus is 2-0, and we're living in his world. And he's up in CS, of course he is.
Yeah, and picking up a good Q here on 0-0, going down about half HP. Double pink ward on the other end. Trying to block some of the shots as the flash comes through. This Nasus, this Wither is so hard to deal with. We might already pick up another kill. Bread able to Q farm. That's 3 kills.
Why are we passing this way?
Not sure why Rakan's going that direction. I don't know what's happening, but you're Rakan. You're one of the slipperiest champions in the game. How are we getting caught by some of this?
Daxley is bot lane. That's Ace Theory's top lane now.
Yeah.
Daxley's in support. Oh, that's even worse than what that's even worse than what Scooter Shooters are doing. That's atrocious. What?
And it's not working either. I mean, at the very least, you can say that Ace Theory's not dead yet, but that might change here quickly because we already got Warwick Art ready to go. And now Middlesticks is looking for the ultimate, trying to lock down the Greeno. The gank coming in, and we have plenty of damage to take them down underneath tower, sitting at 6-1. Looking for some damage as Greeno comes in for a couple of shots, trying to lock him down. Calborn, 1 or 2 more AAs away. Slappy, unfortunately, missing it on Greeno. We do have someone here. It looks like Spartan's going to try to pick it up, and the stun's going to come in pretty solid, so I don't think we want to go for this, but if we step 1 or 2 shots out of range, we are going to get taken down, but I get this at the very least, that's going to be a free shot. Now Zoro going to get chased down here by Bread. It's non-stop chaos. This is a 4-0 Bread. It's going to turn into a 1v2, but we've got so much HP. Another Wither coming through, looking for another Q. Just 1 or 2 more Qs are all it's going to take in order to take down Zoro. The biggest advantage they have is the fact that we have Rakan, but it's not doing a lot for them.
Yeah, it's not a whole lot is helping out here for sure. And Spartan is smelling blood here as we're wasting away.
Wither coming down. Yeah, I don't think there's a lot we can do for Zoro to get out, although we have a lot more damage than I expected. Bread would love to get in range, and he's acting as excellent bait, and we're just kind of ignoring Warwick, so Spartan's just sort of able to pick up a free kill. There wasn't a lot he had to do there for that fight. Rakan should get out of this, but for some reason he's pathing to try. I don't know what the thought process is for that one. I know you're slippery, and I know you're Rakan, but man, we just really don't want to live on this support. Either way, we're sitting at 9-4, 2-0, 15-11K, and once again, things are not looking super great for GOATED.
Yeah, GOATED looking really worse for wear here. Nasus, the 80 carry Nasus is up in CS and 4-0-2 as Greeno is going to be targeted. We got an engage.
There is the Malphite ult. It looks like Calburn finally able to do some damage, hitting that level 6, so there is an opportunity. Fiddlesticks going in and immediately dying as soon as that happened, but it looks like we stepped up a little bit too close, and Spartan picks up another kill. We do finally have Rakan here getting a double knockup, but Calburn's going to die ultimately anyways. That's going to be really unfortunate. Looks like we did not get that Q off in time for the healing, and that's going to be a triple kill on top of the Warwick. The gold, the shutdown gold, going to the Rakan, which is not a great thing.
Yeah, Rakan getting that shutdown gold. I bet he's going to make real good use of it. We do have the Maligma onto Calburn. It's a classic Malphite item for when you want to just kill your opponent, which I do like to do. It is one of my favorite activities, is just playing AP Malphite and ulting people and seeing them disappear. So I guess if you're here to try and have a good time, yeah, Warwick is sniffing out every opportunity this game. He's a real sniffer right now.
And there's no reason not to. Mordekaiser has a pretty powerful, dive when it comes to these towers. We do pick up a shutdown, so that's going to be some gold for Ace, but I can't imagine this is going to matter too much in the grand scheme of things. Like I said, there's non-zero chance that GOATED, loses this or wins this, but I don't see it. Bullet time coming in. Unfortunately, this is going to be MF bullet time, MF support bullet time. It is doing some damage. The Qs are relatively solid. Curtain call going to open up, so this is a good opportunity to look for it. First shot whiffs, second shot whiffs, looking for the the third whiff, but it accidentally hits Bread, so that's something. The fourth shot coming through, killing the support, but Bread is still able to walk away, and now we're fighting in Nasus under the bot lane. Not sure that's the best call whatsoever. That Q is powerful. Warwick, Spartan looking for a bit more to take down. Going to kill there on his own, and there's plenty of blood to go for. Zoro trying to get out. There's going to be the knockup for Rakan, and finally an opportunity for the damage as we go back in immediately. We do pick up a kill there on Nasus. Another Q. The Q farming is absolutely insane. Greeno is here, but is only going to pick up a fear there from the Fiddlestick. Zoro somehow sticking alive. We do have that kill shot. If we can just get in range, we're going to have to use it on Spartan instead, but it's just not going to matter as the Warwick going to go in and pick up his 9th kill. Ooh, Encore coming in. This could be a chance for at least 1 kill. Brett going to get taken down, so that's another shutdown. Things are happening.
Things are happening. Greeno going to try and fight this one out. We're getting the tower to help us out.
Oh, okay, so a couple of tower shots coming through. We are going to pick that up on Seraphine at the very least, fight underneath the tower, but Fiddlestick's happy to dish this out. There's going to be a knock up the W coming on the other end as Ace comes in for the rotate, looking for more gold. So, you know, we're picking up something here by GOATED, but I don't think this is really because of a skill thing. I think this is just, at this point, scooter shooters are kind of just playing ARAM. We're going anywhere where there might be kills, and we're throwing everything against the wall, and we're at least trying to make it fun.
Yeah, no, the scooter shooters are absolutely, at this point, kind of just like throwing themselves at the enemy team and hoping for the best. Like, there's really not a whole lot of risk for them this game. Like, they can absolutely just have a good time, and if they somehow lose this game due to their own hubris, doesn't matter.
It's so hard, though. We've got so much gold. Like, look at this right now. Like Calburn going to get taken down by Valk. Just an insane amount of damage. There's a chance that we lose the Mordekaiser, but there's so much gold on the other end. And Bread is just, I think, been 1v3 most of this time. Popping Q left and right. Happy here for a little bit of reinforcements. There's going to be the curtain call. Finally open it up. It's going to hit 1 on Bread, but we're not going to be able to get the rest on the other end. There's going to be Happy going in with an ultimate of his own, looking for a couple of shots. Ace just barely able to get out Shen on the run, as we're able to get 1 knock up there, keeping their things alive as Spartan goes in for the deep dive. But at this point, I'm not sure he's going to get out. If he's able to get at least 1 more kill, it will make this dive pretty worth it. Are we just going to kill them inside their own base? Okay, we do finally turn that around at the very least. This is absolute insanity, Becky.
Yeah, this is lunacy. This is instability. This is League of Legends. This is what happens when you distill League of Legends down into like a basic element.
Into a
like,
Reddit post.
Into matter itself, you know. This is what happens. This is where League of Legends leads us. This is why it must be destroyed. Certainly.
I feel like you asked an AI bot to tell you how a League of Legends match should go, and this is what you got, right? Like, there are things that are familiar, there are things that sound a bit right, but there's a lot that is very off, and things that are working that shouldn't be working are pretty prevalent.
Yeah, and the Nasus this game is Will Smith eating spaghetti. That's what we're looking at right here. It's
but the old Will Smith eating spaghetti, the wrong one, right? Like
yes.
not the high quality one, right?
Yeah, no, none of this is high quality. None of this is high quality. As okay, we have nothing. We have nothing. All right.
13 minutes of the clock, a bullet time down, but it is a support bullet time, so not the worst thing. We're just kind of allowed to go in and steal the buffs. Spartan is just sort of free range. This is a free range Warwick. Plenty of opportunities. This is our first Drake, weirdly enough, I just noticed. It's just been non-stop ARAM fighting, but there's really not going to be a lot of stopping this Warwick, as we do manage to pick it up, and Calburn maybe overstaying their welcome just a bit. And even though we're only 14 minutes in this game, I'm exhausted, right? This game has mentally and physically exhausted. I might retire after this. This is definitely something that's happening here.
Again, thank you for joining draft night. This is every week. This is every week for draft. This just happens. This is just every week for the draft league, and it's truly beautiful. Kat, I'm gonna tell you right now, Kat, because I know you're gonna watch this later. you're a disappointment on the fiddlesticks. So you need some tips. I can give you some advice because you
don't
look
die.
like you've never played this champion before. I'm not gonna lie, it's looking a little sad. But in any case, Valka is gonna just throw out the claw at nobody as
Ooh, Calburn getting chunked, but we do manage to pick up the kill. That's the nice thing about Seraphine is Seraphine, almost no matter what lane, we do a insane amount of damage. That's why she's strong and a good flex pick. So we've got something going, and weirdly enough, this is one of the closer games. We're sitting at 21-18 at the 15-minute mark. However, the gold lead is still pretty devastating because we haven't really taken any towers on GOATED's side. It's been nonstop pushing. We've controlled the map. Go ahead.
Look at I want you to observe Shen's CS. I want you to observe. Just like, I don't know if you looked at
that's
numbers.
a number. It's a number, right? Like,
I don't know if you like looked at what's going on up there, but I wish I didn't.
Honestly, as a support main, I feel that. I support because I can't CS. I play Malzahar in middle because I can't CS. I play Heimerdinger in middle because I can't CS. So, like I'm not real surprised if this was like a normal top laner who spends most of the game, CSing. I would be a little bit more concerned with. But I don't really see like we're making a couple of mistakes, but they're critically not doing a whole bunch because at the end of the day, League of Legends, even this version of League of Legends, and I hesitate to call this League of Legends, but even this version of League of Legends is still objective base and not kill base. So taking those towers, taking those objectives are going to be significantly more critical than dying in dumb spaces, because at this point, even if GOATED gets their hands on a couple of kills, they don't do an insane amount with it. Ace Theory going in, Ace Theory going out, getting banished to the Shadow Realm. Going to pick up a couple Qs to the face, courtesy of the Mordekaiser. Speaking of Qs, Bread looking for those Qs on the other end as a quick Spartan coming around on the other end, looking for some damage. Exhaust coming down, but I don't think it's going to be enough to stop Bread. Yes, it will. Calburn able to pick up one kill, and now the kiting has begun. Zoro in trouble, looking for those Qs on the other end. Calburn able to pick up at least some shield, and we might be able to pick him off and take him down. The pack of wolves is hungry.
Hit him!
Can't take down the dog. They made him sick finally.
All right.
But it's
All right,
probably
this is the
a
old
Pyrrhic
team.
victory.
You can do it.
Fiddlesticks on the other
That's
side.
not okay. That's
There's a Q.
That's okay.
No, there's Shin ult. But we've got MF here in the background. She can get a kill. There's two to go for. Bullet time gonna activate. We just need one good solid Q. You hit Q. Come on. Come on. All you gotta do, just bounce it off too. Okay, it was infuriating, but we got kills. We're sitting at long-winded 1-for-2 trade as Valk is just trying to end the game in top lane, just continuing to push that, and I don't blame them. I think everybody watching, participating, casting, producing, or hearing about the game is probably catching cancer from this.
Yeah, no, this is I would go see a doctor after this one. Yeah, I don't know, your life expectancy may be
fatal.
dropping expeditiously at this juncture, but fortunately, it is still we have man, I don't know what am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to say? This is exactly the problem I had 2 weeks ago when the Skibidi Skeletons played their dumb shit Master Yi top lane. Like, what am I supposed to say here?
Okay, but
what am I supposed to break down?
but hear me out, right? I don't think Master Yi top lane is the worst. I can see a world in which it works. And the other side of that, though, too, hey, Happy got a kill. And the other side of that, though, too, is I expect that kind of stuff from a team called Skibidi Toilet. I didn't expect any of this from anybody. There was no letter, there was no deal in the tin to give me an idea of how this might go. I saw two normal sounding names, one that was kind of like haha funny, Scooter Shooters, but I just didn't see that coming. And I think what's worse is it's working for Scooter Shooters. I think that's probably the worst part of all of this.
Yeah, well, the GOATED team here is just like they obviously like had no hope last game, and now like they're kind of just biding their time until like the Nexus explodes. Ace Theory just like buddy, just log out, just like open up like Balasha or something. Just like
Put on Netflix, find a good movie, you know, maybe watch Invincible on Amazon if you haven't been watching that. That's a pretty good series, right? There's a lot of good shows that you could be watching while this game is going off. And right now, you know, people are dying. Bread not, though. There was, but I think that might have been a 2-for-1 trade. I guess 2-for-2 trade in the long run, but not a lot of people are stopping this Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser is very determined to try and end this. And honestly, I think that if Scooter Shooter did group up, we could probably look for this ending. And this might actually turn into one of the longer games, as weird as it sounds. I'm going to guess 25 minutes to 30-minute game, opposed to like 22 on the other one. Valk starting to fight, going to activate the Death Room, going to pick up a whole bunch of damage. That is a massive shield. Fiddlesticks finally has their time in the sun. Happy looking for the damage, and finally digging deep. The double kill going to Mordekaiser, but Happy finally found some sort of purchase to make things work. Rakan is the only one to get out of that shenanigans as we're beginning to push the T2 in the mid lane.
Yeah, the tier 2 going to be the target here. I mean, these turrets have just kind of been dropping as like set dressing. Like these have just been like side quests for the side of Scooter Shooters. Like their main goal is to just kind of demoralize
they had a quest in that area, so they're, you know, they might as well get it done while they're there. So yeah, no, I understand that. I pick up a bunch of quests and go out and do the same thing. So no, I get it.
Yeah, you know, you pick up your quests, and you know you're there, and you're kind of just, oh, it's an extra objective. You know, climb the tower here, and
yeah, sure,
you know,
I'll kill 22 bandits. Why not? Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I'll just gotta get 5 zebra hoofs. How hard could that be? All the zebras have hoofs.
Except when you open them and it's zebra hoof empty. But we do finally find an angle, locking down Bread. That is not even a shutdown, so it looks like NASA's decided another part. Green gonna pick up the kill for that one. Slappy gonna activate bullet time on the other end, and the dog going in immediately. Exhaust doing the exact same thing. That's gonna be double snare, and things are falling apart, at least for Scooter Shooters right now. They're not exactly coordinating. Now Valk's gonna TP in, looking for the damage, looking for the 1v5, trying to take down Ace. There it is. Ace gonna take it down. Happy doing a little bit of fearing, looking for the damage on the other end. That's gonna be a double kill on a triple kill on the Mordekaiser, I should say. It looks like this is all turning up Mord.
Yeah, Mordekaiser has indeed is going a little more to crazy this game. Trying be the one gamer who is like attempting to win. Is indeed doing their best, and I do appreciate that. I sincerely do. Thank you, Valka, for remembering what League of Legends is all about, which is victory, and
you know, I think
what else we're looking at.
I think what's going on, and the headcanon lore for Valk is, I think that he saw the results of game number 2, and he placed an order on Uber Eats, and his food is sitting outside, and he really wants his insert food of choice. And I think that's what we're trying to end, because we don't want our food to get cold. So it's a challenge run for him right now. Ace going in, he's taking down the support, so the support MF is going to die, but we still have Mordekaiser, who is happy to fight these long-winded fights. So he's 1v3 right now, and Calburn's actually on the retreat. Zoro walking into melee range with a Mordekaiser, just deciding he doesn't want to live anymore, I guess. And I can't say I blame him too much. Happy missing a massive ultimate, but not sure it's going to matter as the encore comes in. Calburn looking for the damage, trying to dig deep, but Mordekaiser is still here, picking up kill after kill after kill. He's just absolutely unstoppable. Dude, just walk to the tower. You can take the shot. I mean, not if you take a whole bunch of free shots. I don't like. I just whatever. I'm not going to nitpick him.
Doesn't matter.
But I feel like we took. I feel like we took way more tower shots than we needed to. Just let him in at this point. You know, this is the Professor Oak version of the starters that don't get picked, and he puts them down. You don't see that in the background. It's pretty dark, and at this point, I think this is the oddish that no one ends up picking.
Yeah, that's right. Oddish. I'm sorry. It's over for you.
The famous starter. Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite starter, Oddish.
Right next to Magic Carp.
Yeah. True. In any case, so there's actually, believe it or not, neutral objectives on the board. The Baron is up. I don't know if like that's at all in the cards. If you've not noticed, the Scooter Shooters are not particularly concerned with
happy?
winning the game normally. As okay. All right, Cat.
I don't think they're concerned with winning the game at all. I think this has turned into pure ARAM. Happy is here by themselves, but it looks like we bought enough time for Valk to come in. So if we can close the distance, got to pick up a double kill. Jin still hurts. The meta elements for, GOATED are floating around in there, but you're not going to win this as Shen. And I think my lore for why we have Ace in the top lane and we have, Dax, or I can't see his name, but we have the top switching with the support is I'm pretty sure some BMing might have happened back and forward. And X person was like, how hard is it to not die top lane? And then that's how we end up with the support in the top, or what? I don't know what's going on. I'm just trying to build my own headcanon, trying to stay sane. Not being successful, but I'm doing my best.
Yeah, you're trying to explain this game, and I think the nothing explains this game. Nothing that we can do, nothing that anyone can do, because this game is just happening to us, and there's nothing we can do about it.
This is kind of like, I think when I see this is kind of like when you get fairly deep into your YouTube recommendations, right? And you get past, like the wall I normally hit, which is bees, right? Like random beekeeping, and then immediately after the beekeeping in the YouTube recommendation is like the truly fever dream cancer humor that is the people that are still using the models from TF2 to like make jokes and whatnot and come through, and that's where I feel like we've gotten, like we're way past bees, which is where I stopped, and into the TF2 fever dream area.
Yeah, we're watching Source filmmaker here, and I think that's beautiful. There's something truly like wonderful about that. In any case, Dragon is up, so theoretically, like literally anybody can just like walk down and take that. I imagine if Spartan decides to actually take an objective, could just get that, but I think instead we're gonna just like push in the base. Like, what are they gonna do? Stop you? Do you think this is gonna happen in this game? In front of my salad? You think that's what's gonna happen right here? As Daxley is okay. Yeah, Spartan has decided to actually like right-click the objectives as a fight breaks out again. And
bullet time coming down, multiple shots. Yeah, Valk going in. It started and ended just as quickly as it had begun. And this has weirdly turned into our longest game from the night. Finally, we are going to go sweet into that sweet night and going to get taken down there. It looks like Green's the only one left here. Maybe pad your stats. May as well. Arcadia isn't the worst. We're definitely going to lose this game. There's no way out of it. At this point, we have played with our food and, finally we're getting there. So it looks like Valk's going to finally be able to get a chance to eat the sandwich that's been sitting right outside their door this whole time.
Close game, very close game, everyone. Great work.
Could have gone either way, Becky. I was on the edge of my seat, and it definitely wasn't to vomit multiple times off camera. It was clearly from the excitement, from the thrill, from the fact that it could have gone either way. It was truly neck and neck, very much so a nail biter. But all jokes aside, that brings our score up to 3-1. Props for GOATED, stick it in there. Sometimes you just don't win these games, and you got to remember at the end of the day, these guys are doing this for fun and for free. So as much as we meme on them, the chaos is kind of the point, is the silver lining I'm trying to shoot for here, Becky.
Yeah, the League of Legends is not it's not about if you win or lose. It's how you race around the track. That's what I learned from putt goes.
It's
to
the cancer you made along the way. Yeah.
It's all about I'm glad to know that we got to see this game with somebody who's never watched a draft league match like this before. Because like
it was my first experience.
You're watching this and you're like, this is something that is truly like just spirit shattering. And this is just like every week for the draft league.
I think it is going to live. I think it is going to live rent free in my head, right? I have two moments to sort of calculate, right? When I was in the military, one of the worst moments I had was when I was forced to mop a wall. That was super great. That's what I signed up for. That was fantastic. And I had a moment when I was sitting there with mop in hand, mopping a wall. I'm like, Great. I'm glad. I'm glad this is what I'm doing today. And in my casting career, this is on that moment too. Like I've had some pretty high highs in League of Legends. I've helped out LPL English. I've helped out SIDO. I've done a lot of different like back and forward crazy stuff. And this is a point in my career for sure. Either way, it was fun. Thank you so much for inviting me, Becky, to hang out here and cast this.
Yeah.
I think that everybody watching casting. Playing should probably go to the doctor after this. I'm going to close this out. Thank y'all so much for watching and sticking with us. Not sure why you did, but thank you for hanging out. Thank you, everyone. We're going to call this quits. I've been Korak. He's been Becky, and this has been Blue Water Draft League. GG's, everyone.「世界に銀河